Well, that's as important as it is. Some of these things that we take for granted are the same things that we still need for us to be informed and to keep ourselves up to par with what's happening in our society. Therefore, check us out live on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel. That is Keith Ngesi Radio. You can also check us out on www.keithngesiradio.com or our mobile app on the Google Play Store so that you never miss 1 second of your special programming. Let's get straight into it. Imagine having to fork out 720,000 Rand for a 15-minute Uber trip to another country. Due to an error, that's exactly what happened to a man in the UK. So according to The Independent, the 22-year-old Oliver Kaplan ordered an Uber in the city near Manchester after knocking from work and had planned on going out with friends for some drinks. Now, Oliver, who is a trainee chef, says his Uber picked him up from Buxton Inn outside Hyde in Greater Manchester and took him to a local pub, which was just 6 kilometers away. The price quoted for the ride on the e-hailing service was between 10 and 11 pounds. So which he accepted. Everything was fine until the next day when he woke up to a message from Uber notifying him of insufficient funds. His trip had cost a staggering £35,427.97. That's more than 720,000 Rand. I ordered an Uber like I do most nights on the way home from work and everything seemed normal, he says. The driver arrived, I got to the Uber and he took me exactly where I was meant to be going. It was a 15-minute journey, tops, and the bill was said to be between 10 and 11 pounds. Charged to my debit card, but when I woke up hungover the next morning, the last thing I expected was to be charged 35,000, he said. Oliver then contacted Uber to inform them of the error, and they were quite shocked to learn about the ridiculously large bill, but there was a reason. The drop-off location had been wrongly set to Australia. Uber then adjusted his fare to the real amount of £10.73 before the money came out of his bank. And if I had that sort of money, I would have had to chase them for a refund. It would have landed me in all sorts of financial trouble. I'm still wondering how the location was even set to Australia in the first place, seeing as it's on the other side of the globe, he said. Be very careful. Be very, very careful. 29 now after 9. Some Inkatha Freedom Party-run municipalities in KZN have come under fire due to corruption allegations leveled against the party's officials. On Friday, community members in Vryheid, northern KwaZulu-Natal, marched to Abaqulusi local municipality demanding the removal of Mayor Umncedisi Mapisa. This comes as he faces corruption allegations. Mapisa is accused of the attempted murder of his former protector, as well as alleged wasteful transport expenditure amounting to about R1 million. But during an interview, Mapisa denied the allegations, claimed that it was a smear campaign. The accusations over allegations they are making, they are saying I've spent 900,000 on my car for fuel. They are not including the issue of the rental, though. Even on the issue of the rental for the whole period, it can't be 900,000 on my car alone. When responding to the matter involving a bodyguard who said he said to have opened a case against him, he said, I will suggest that since the matter is now in the hands of the South African Police Service, we leave it in their hands. When the matter is finalized, a report will be issued, and as the municipality, our pronunciation on that one. Amid the allegations, the Speaker of the same council, Michael Khumalo, publicly made threats to fire a person from the council who's affiliated with the African National Congress. He spoke out publicly during the late IFP councillor Papa Mbata's funeral, promising to hire a member of the Mbata family. Chinese ambassador to Zimbabwe, Guo Shuachin, hands over a symbolic key of National Pharmaceutical Warehouse Project to Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa in Harare, Zimbabwe, on the 6th of on the 6th of October in 2022, which is this year. A new research by Chinese think tank has revealed that these Chinese investments in Zimbabwe have brought a positive trajectory for the country's economic development. Conducted by Ruzivo Media Resource Center, the study sought to look at how Chinese investments, both by the state and by private companies, have impacted Zimbabwe, and was presented at a seminar on the Chinese investments in Zimbabwe in Harare yesterday. Presented by the think tank founder Tia Shuang Zindoga, the investigation sought to answer the following questions. What are China's investments in Zimbabwe? Where are they? What are the quality quantum trends, trajectories, impacts, and implications? In addition, the research sought to answer what impact Chinese investments bring economically, socially, and politically, and the nature of the relationships between these Chinese businesses and the various Zimbabweans. So, there have been a number of things that are happening as far as natural disasters around the world, but we will come back to that in just a second. Government has ignored poor and marginalized people for too long, says members of civil society group who picketed outside the National Treasury on Tuesday. Over 150 members of the civil society groups and unemployed people picketed at Church Square in Pretoria on Tuesday. They were calling for the National Treasury to continue paying 350 Rand social relief grants in considering converting it to a basic income grant. The group also demanded a wealth tax to fund the grant, as well as an increase in taxes on products like cigarettes, vaping, sugary drinks, alcohol, and carbon. Sioba, the lobby group Amandla.mobi said, excuse me, we want to influence the upcoming medium-term budget policy statement. After the budget statement, we are going to write to Parliament. We also have plans for the State of the Nation address, he said. Popular Johannesburg house flipper Stephen Barron is back with another exciting video. In his new video on Friday, the 14th of October, Barron took to viewers through the Project O, a house with a roof that was affected by a fire. The house flipper described it as the most dramatic before and after house flip ever. He made a cool 600,000 Rand just by flipping that house. Cool for you. And it's an opportunity, if you want to get into something that is going to seriously be sustainable, as well as help you achieve your goals and your dreams. Look at the property margins and look at the game as well. 26 now before 10. The decision by former SABC Chief Operating Officer Hlaudi Motsoeneng and 9 others to give 53 musicians 50,000 Rand each has been declared unlawful and set aside. But the time period to reclaim the fruitless expenditure amount of 2,420,000 has expired, meaning the money is lost to the state broadcaster. This is, in essence, the ruling delivered by Judge Lebohang Modiba, president of the Special Tribunal. The judgment found that the SABC was aware of the decision taken in 2017. Now, 5 years later, the period to reclaim has lost and expired, meaning the SABC has lost 2.42 million. By setting aside the decision to pay the 53 musicians 50,000 Rand each, this means no other musicians can now claim for this amount. The payments were meant to compensate musicians who had not received needle-time royalties prior to 1996. They were paid once-off amounts of 50,000, but 53 were paid the sum in total. Investigating unit and SABC sought to recover the money expeditiously. The Buffalo City Metro has slammed a scrapyard business for purchasing cables which were stolen in Duncan Village outside East London. According to the Metro, Ward 1 in Duncan Village was plunged into darkness after cables were stolen over the weekend, and this prompted residents to act. The community apprehended one of the suspects who led them to a scrapyard dealership in Amalinda where he allegedly sold the cables. Revenue protection officers went to the Duncan Village police station to open a case against the suspects apprehended by the community. The Metro cited that the dealer might also get charged depending on the involvement, and that the processes they used in procuring stolen goods. Not good, fellas. Not good, and not a good look for the city either. Stop buying stolen goods. Rather get the original thing, save a little bit more, put aside if you can, and exercise some patience so that you can not be supplying the value chain of crime. The University of South Africa has refused to answer questions on the steps it has taken to implement the forensic investigation into the 77 million rand purchase of laptops that recommended corrective action against its executives. Professor Puleng Lenkabula, the principal and vice chancellor of Africa's largest open distance learning institution, vice principal for finance, supply chain management, and business enterprises, and chief financial officer Katu Ramakumba, and others of the University Management Committee are in the firing line for the following investigations by the law firm Bowmans. Bowmans concluded that after the review of emails and draft submissions that ManCom members were aware of the 50 million rand delegation and that the council approval was required for the entire initiative as it exceeded 50 million rand.
We are extraterrestrial. We are KNR.